All right, welcome to your quick and dirty study guide for the engine room of blockchain. If you've ever wondered how all these decentralized networks actually agree on anything, well, you've come to the right place. We are going to break down the rulebook that makes it all happen and get you ready for prime time. Let's dive in. So, let's just set the stage here for a second. Imagine thousands of computers scattered all over the globe. None of them trust each other, and there's absolutely no one in charge to tell them what to do. I mean, on paper, that sounds like complete and utter chaos, right? And that is the million-dollar question. How in the world do they stop people from cheating, or spending the same money twice, or just breaking the whole system? The answer is a pretty clever set of rules, what we call a consensus algorithm. So here's our game plan for this study session. We'll start with the big idea, then get into the big two, work versus stake. After that, we'll look at some systems that feel a lot like voting, check out some other creative ideas, understand the big trade-off behind all of it, and then we'll wrap up with a final review. Okay, chapter 1, let's get right to it. What exactly is a consensus algorithm? At its heart, it's just the rule book. It's the system that forces everybody to play by the same rules, so that every single computer on the network ends up with the exact same, identical copy of the transaction history. It's the operating system for truth. And I love this analogy because it's just perfect. You know that feeling, right? You're with a huge group of people and nobody can decide where to eat. It's a mess. But if you have a rule, say, we'll go with the first suggestion that gets 5 votes, suddenly you have a decision. That voting rule is the consensus algorithm. It turns chaos into pizza. Okay, chapter 2. Time for the main event. We're going to look at the two most famous, most important rulebooks in the entire crypto universe, proof of work and proof of stake. First up, you've got proof of work. This is the original, the one Bitcoin is built on. And honestly, you should think of it as a massive global math competition. All these computers, called miners, are racing around the clock to solve a really hard puzzle. First one to get the answer wins. This analogy just nails it. The proof in proof of work is literally you showing your work. You prove you spent the time and the energy because you have the correct answer to the problem that no one else has found yet. Now, if proof of work is a race, proof of stake is a completely different game. It's not about who has the fastest computer, it's about who has the most skin in the game. Here, people called validators lock up their own crypto as collateral, kind of like a security deposit. This is the perfect way to remember it. By putting your own money on the line, you're effectively saying, hey, network, I believe in you, and I promise not to cheat because my own funds are at risk. The more you stake, the more the network trusts you, and the more likely you are to be chosen. So when you put these two side by side, the biggest difference just screams at you: energy consumption. I mean, proof of work is famous for using an insane amount of power, sometimes as much as a small country. Proof of stake, on the other hand, is dramatically more energy efficient. It's competing with brain power versus competing with your wallet. Okay, let's keep moving. Chapter 3. So it's not always a pure competition. Some of these consensus systems actually look a lot more like things we see in the real world, like governments and companies. And we're going to quickly touch on 2 big variations here: delegated proof of stake, that's DPoS, and proof of authority, or POA. This table lays it out pretty clearly. DPoS is kind of like a republic. Instead of everyone voting on everything, you elect a small number of delegates to make the decisions quickly. It's super fast, but you are concentrating power into fewer hands. Then you have proof of authority, which is even more centralized. Think of a corporate board of directors. Only a handful of pre-approved, trusted members get to validate transactions. It's crazy efficient, but you're giving up a lot of decentralization for that speed. All right, time for a quick fire round. Beyond the big guys and their political-style cousins, there are some seriously creative, almost out-there ways that blockchains build trust. The innovation here is pretty wild. So check these out. Proof of burn. And yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. You literally destroy your own coins to prove your commitment. It's an irreversible sacrifice. Then there's proof of capacity, where instead of a powerful processor, the competition is based on who has the most unused hard drive space. And proof of elapsed time is basically a super fair lottery system, where the winner is chosen based on a random wait time. You see this one a lot in private corporate blockchains. So you're probably thinking, okay, this is a lot. Why are there so many different types? Why doesn't everyone just agree on one and call it a day? That is a great question. And the answer is pretty simple. There is no perfect system. There's no silver bullet. Every single one of these consensus algorithms is trying to solve a really tough puzzle known as the blockchain trilemma. First, you have security. This is absolutely non-negotiable. The network has to be a fortress, making it incredibly expensive and difficult for anyone to attack it. Second, you need speed. You'll also hear this called scalability. Basically, can the network handle a ton of transactions, like a Visa network, without grinding to a halt? And third, you've got decentralization. This is kind of the whole point of blockchain, right? No single person or small group is in control. Now, here's the trilemma part. It is incredibly hard to get all three of these things maxed out at the same time. Usually, you have to pick two. If you want more speed, you might have to give up a little decentralization. If you want rock-solid security, you might have to sacrifice some speed. It is a constant balancing act. Okay, we've made it to the final review. Let's boil everything we've talked about down to the one key thing you absolutely need to remember. At the end of the day, a consensus algorithm is just the rulebook a blockchain uses to agree on what's true. And every rulebook, whether it's based on work or stake or voting, is just a different attempt to balance that trilemma of security, speed, and decentralization. So the final question is really for you. What do you value most? If you were building a global bank, you'd probably pick security above all else. Before a video game, you'd probably want speed. Your answer to that question determines which rulebook is the right one for the job.